Okay, I think we're live now. So let me just check the different platforms. So we've got see myself there. Picture quality looks a bit better than last time. So that's good. Let's check Algora because we should be streaming it also there. I might keep this open. I think it's tv.algora.io. Good. We're coming up. We're coming up here on the front page, which is cool. Let's see if I can show you that. Wow, it's me. Okay. So Algora looks like it's working. I might keep that open so I can see anyone who chats in there, but I'm going to pause it to save bandwidth. Let's see if that works. I'll try, if anyone's trying to interact with me through Algora, I don't see it in StreamYard, but I'll try and check it messages. Yeah, but otherwise, we'll get going. What time are we on? Yeah, it's 4 o'clock, so it's time to begin the stream. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Vendure Live Coding. This is my second stream, and last time we were looking at working on some core like bugs, looking at opening up GitHub, looking at the backlog, picking a ticket, and I picked what I thought would be maybe like a nice, easy bug to just work on for an hour, and it turned out to be really, really horrible. You can go and see that stream if you want to see me wrestle with a unpredictable race condition, completely non-deterministic. Just trying to reproduce it was a challenge. It's fixed now, so that will be in the next patch release. But I thought for this stream, I'll do something different. I'll work on an actual Vendure project. So we're going to implement a feature. We're going to implement a plugin. Now, let me just quickly look at the platforms and see that everything's going. Okay, we've got 8 people on YouTube. That's cool. Yeah, and as last time, let me just go a bit bigger here. A bit bigger. Just like last time, we've got the chat. So if you have any questions, just throw them into the chat in YouTube. They'll come up. I'll see them. I can put them up on the screen, and let's make it interactive. It was really fun last time. I had lots of help dealing with those bugs and stuff. But this time, we're going to do a plugin. So let me introduce you to this project. So this is a real Vendure project. It's probably one of the oldest Vendure projects that exists in production because this shop is actually the motivating reason that Vendure exists. So this is the artsupplies.co.uk code base, the web shop of my family business, and this was the whole reason I started on the Vendure project. And of course, now it's built on Vendure. And as you can see, like it's got a lot of features. These are all different plugins implementing different features that we have. The repo is NX. So NX is a tool for managing mono repos. This allows you to kind of structure your code in a smart way and gives you a bunch of different stuff, which I won't go into because it's a big topic. But just suffice it to say, the layout is a bit different than you might see in a project that's created with Vendure Create. Okay, I've got a question right here. I'll just pause. We've got a question from Madeline. Is it possible to have channel-specific stock levels? Okay, right. Channel-specific stock levels. You need to just check the docs. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I would just look in the docs and see, does the stock level entity implement the channel-aware feature? Yeah. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Yeah, so this is why you see the plugins arranged like this in this libs, and then the actual apps are here. We've got like the server, we've got a storefront app, the worker, we've even got a point of sale that we use inside a physical shop. We've got a blog, which is built on WordPress. Yeah, but all the Vendure stuff is happening in here. So we've got lots of functionality that we've built out over the years. And there's one thing that we are lacking, and I'm going to try and build it today. And here's the background. So, you know, we run lots of promotions, as I'm sure a lot of e-commerce shops are doing. And a lot of these are time limited or like they have a voucher code that's going out on certain channels. And often the marketing department wants to know how much has this promotion been used? Because then they can track how effective the promotion is. And the data's all there, but it's locked inside the database. And we don't expose any way by default to actually see how much a particular promotion has been used. So this is what I do so far. The workflow is I get pinged on Slack, right? And let me see if I can find it. Okay, I get pinged on Slack and I'm asked, "Hey, can you tell me how much promotion X has been used this month?" So I'm like, "Okay." So I fire up a tunnel to our production database. I jump into JetBrains IDE with the SQL integration, and I basically just run this SQL command, and it will give you the result. It'll tell you how many times that promotion has been used. And that works okay. I mean, that's one of the advantages of owning all the data, as compared to using some kind of software as a service where the database is not owned by you and you are like dictated by their API what data you can access. When you own the data, you can literally just, roll your sleeves up, stick your hand inside the SQL database and grab the data, and there you got it. The downside is it's a hassle. I don't like having to go through all those steps, and it's also a hassle for the marketing team who have to like ping me and then wait. And wouldn't it be great if they could just do it themselves? If they could just had some element in the UI and they can open up a promotion and go click, click, click. How many times was this used? Boom, there is the answer. So that is the promotion. That is the plugin that we're going to implement today. LM. Not sure if it's my internet connection or the video quality is really choppy. It's my internet connection. I've tried to fix this. So last time it was really bad. I'm going to just check the YouTube stream. Let me have a look. How it's looking. Okay, it's better than it was last time. But when I'm properly presenting the code, I'm going to kind of drop out of the way a bit, and hopefully you can see things better. But yeah, long story short, where I live, the part of Vienna that I live in has really, really bad connectivity. So I'm on a mobile connection. This time, I actually literally brought the router. I don't know if you can see it here, but it's like I brought it into my office right next to my computer to try and improve things. I think it's better than last time, but it's still not great. But hopefully we can all get along with this. I'll try and make text big where possible. Boom, 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 like that. And hopefully you can all read it, okay? So yeah, so this is going to be how I go about implementing a plugin from start to finish. I've not prepared anything. I just have the kind of a general outline in my head what I want it to do. So why don't we note this down? Requirements. So we want to have a query that can report usage for a particular promotion. We want to supply promotion ID and also date range. And let's say that that's optional because maybe by default we want it to just show, like have no date range and just show all usages forever. And then we also want to expose admin UI, UI controls for this so that then it's kind of self-serve. And I'm left in peace and I don't have to run these manual SQL queries anymore. So that is it's a pretty simple one. Those are the requirements. So let's jump into it. So as I say, this is an NX repo. So the plugin will go here. I'm going to attempt to use the Vendure CLI to do this. I think it should work with NX. Let's check it out. So we're in the root here. So I'm going to say npx Vendure add. Something should happen. Everything runs slowly when I'm streaming, so you got to bear with me a little bit on this. By the way, we have everyone who's watching, just drop me a shout out in the chat, please. I want to know who's here. I like to know. I know a lot of you. I want to see who's watching. Okay, we want to create a new Vendure plugin. Yes. So we have multiple tsconfig files, and the reason for that is in just the way that like NX is laid out. You have this tsconfig base, and this contains all these path mappings, and this is so that you can like do these imports without like having the relative paths, and it looks like a package. So this is actually the important one because it contains references to all our plugins. So when the CLI is asking which one to use in an NX project, you should use the base one. Okay. Hey, Noah, joining us again. Nice to see you. We have a plugin called Abandoned Car. Yes, yes, I did that recently. I mean, we've got a lot of plugins. Let me just see. Abandoned Car. Account verification reminder. This is like when someone tries to verify their account, but then they never do it, and then you kind of remind them a few days later. Yeah, announcements, banners. I've got a kind of rudimentary CMS built in there. Some art specific ones like color chart support, geolocation, lots of things. As I say, it's been going for like years, and the features are building up. Alam asked, does it support Turbo? So Turbo is like a similar tool to NX, Turbo Repo, a way of managing monorepos. I don't know, to be honest. Like I've never used Turbo. I believe I've heard people using it, but yeah, I don't have any first-hand experience with that. The CLI, okay, you mean the CLI. I've never, yeah, again, I've never tested it with Turbo. You're supposed to run it. So when you run the command that I did before, like Vendure add, what the CLI is going to do, it's going to scan for TypeScript files in the repo, and it's got heuristics to find that like this is a Vendure project and these are Vendure plugins. So I think it should probably work inside a Turbo repo as well, but someone needs to test that. Probably me. Right. What is the name of the plugin? Let's call it. I think we've got a convention here. So No, I'll rename that afterwards. We'll call it promotion usage. Simple. Location. So it's kind of smart enough to figure out that we have them in this libs directory and then source lib. I think we want that. Let's just check. Another one, source lib. Yeah, it's clever. Clever Vendure CLI. Well done. So now it's going to generate scaffold for us. There will be a bunch of different kind of NX boilerplate things that I'm going to have to just manually copy over that are not part of the default scaffold. I've got a question here while we're waiting. What does the inventory sync plugin do? Does it sync with some external marketplace? No, it syncs with our existing back office kind of ERP system, which is a very old, been going for like 25 years type of very custom software that holds all the product information like stock levels, prices, and so on. And like several times a day, we have it sync that data into Vendure. So that's our kind of source of truth for stock information. And the way it does that is it sends some calls to a custom mutation, then we create jobs, put it on the job queue, and just have the job queue like munch through those updates and sync everything. Okay, so do we want to add some features to promotion usage? So this is a good opportunity. We can, well, you know what I'll do? I'll say no for now. We can come back to that because let's just take stock of what we have after running that step. So first thing's going to be that it's named it promotion usage, but in this repo, I've got a slightly different naming convention for the folders at least. So let's rename that. What's it called? It's refactor, isn't it? Rename plugin dash promotion usage. And then I just want to check. You know what else we'll have to do manually because we didn't go through NX to create this. We need to create this path mapping here. So let's see. Let's try and do it alphabetical. PQR promotion usage. What we have plans for is to make it so we have a really deep integration with NX so that we can have an NX generator that can actually call the Vendure CLI, and we have a tight integration. So ideally, we wouldn't have to do these little manual things. So let's do that. Hey, well, oh, we've got someone else here. So Zaya, nice to see you. I mean, not really see you, but nice to know that you're here. These are lots of familiar names from our community Discord. So it's nice to see you guys joining me today. So, all right, we've got the path mapping, source index TS. Let's go and check that. That's okay. Promotion usage, source. We index. Yeah. So again, this is like a kind of NX-ism. So what I'm going to do is just like take these, copy those, and just paste them and change a few bits around. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that we want to fix when we have a really tight NX integration. And so let's just search for recommendations and change it to promotion usage. If anyone sees me make a typo, just shout it in the chat, because I'm sure I will make some at some point and then miss out and then spend 10 minutes trying to figure out what went wrong. These are all okay. These are all okay. That's okay. So we need an index TS. Let's see. Source lib. So the index is like live in there. So let's put it inside. Let's see. Source lib. That's just inside source. Okay. We'll put an index TS there. And lib. What? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Lib. We want promotion usage plugin. Good. So I think that's like all the wiring up has been done now. And let's just look at what the CLI has generated. It's like the scaffolding for a plugin. We've got an options thing here that we don't really need to use right now and probably won't at the moment. So we've got our plugin. We want to basically create a custom query. So we're going to add some extensions to our GraphQL API, and we can do that again through the CLI. So let's run again npx vendure add, and we can go and select API. Actually, let's see what happens. Yeah, select that again. Now it's going to analyze the project, and it should be able to enumerate all the plugins that we have, and then we can choose which plugin we want to modify now. The way it does this behind the scenes, by the way, we're using a library called tsmorph, which is basically a wrapper around the TypeScript compiler. And when we use the TypeScript compiler, we can really analyze at the level of the abstract syntax tree the structure of our Vendure project. And it's really, really powerful because it allows you to do very advanced refactorings without needing to rely on things like regular expressions and find and replace kind of stuff. It's pretty sophisticated. So we got to find now our plugin, promotion usage plugin. There we go. So let's select that. No service. Okay. I was testing it to see if it would be smart, but it says no services were found in this plugin. So it's saying we've actually got to create a service manually first. What it really should do there is just say, hey, do you want me to create a service? That would be. Anyway, that's something for the backlog. So let's go and create a service. And now we've got to just select the plugin again. The analyzing the project, this step takes a little while on this project because it's huge and there's lots and lots of code for it to kind of go through to find all the plugins. It'd be cool if there was a way that we could cache that, but not had a chance to work on that yet. But you know, the code's open source. If anyone really fancies a meaty challenge, then that would be a nice little optimization to the CLI, especially for big projects. All right, let's find our plugin again. Click, 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 click. Okay, recommendation. No. Promotion usage plugin. Yes, this one. So we're going to make a service. Service is where we store business logic, basically. We don't need a CRUD service. We just want a basic entity service. We'll call it promotion usage service. We don't need to be creative with our naming. Question from Alan here. What does it search for in that step? So it's searching for basically, it's going through all of the TypeScript code and it's looking for classes which have this Vendure plugin decorator. And then when it finds that, it knows it's a Vendure plugin. And it takes a little while. Okay, done. Right, so actually we just saw something happen here, right? So now we've got this service created. It's just kind of an empty dummy service. And now let me show you the cool thing with the CLI. And when I talk about refactoring, it's now modified this providers array to add that new service into the providers array. And these are the kind of things which, if you try and do it without manipulating directly the abstract syntax tree, it's very, very complex. Almost, it's impossible to do it correctly, really, in all cases. But when you have control of the actual abstract syntax tree, you can you can think of it like jQuery. If anyone comes from the days of using jQuery to manipulate the DOM, traverse the DOM, find a parents, find children, it's really like that, but with your TypeScript source code. So you can like list all the children of a particular object. You can add properties. You can like enumerate the values of an array, add something to an array, remove something. It's really cool. Right, so we've got our service here. So this service is going to be where we house the logic that we need to get the data on the promotion. Next thing, right. Next thing we'll go and do before I actually implement all that, I'll create the API extension because that's actually what I wanted to do first. Now, if I would have done all of this straight up front when I created the plugin, I wouldn't have had to go through and choose the plugin newly each time. So I should have done that, but I wanted to show you step by step. So now we're going to add a GraphQL API extension. Select that again. It's going to do its thing now, searching through for our plugins. Yeah, it seems like a long time, but in the days, let me tell you, in the days before we had the Vendure CLI, you had to manually go and type all the code yourself. And that was even more slow. So we should be lucky. And the nice thing, you might be thinking, oh, well, why don't you just use like ChatGPT? You can trust the Vendure CLI. It's actually unit tested and it will output correct code, which is a nice thing. I do like LLMs for coding. I find I use Copilot. Great, especially for like writing tests, test suites. It's good for a lot of stuff, but I still don't trust it. Do not trust that stuff. Spend a lot of time like fixing bugs that it's created. What it is really great for is writing SQL stuff because like I'm no pro at SQL and I need help with it. And it does help. It does help. I still got to correct it, but at least it kind of gives me a starting point. Right, so let's choose our plugin again, and it's going to create some, it's going to ask us for which service, because when we have an API extension, we want to bind that to a particular service, which will house the business logic powering that query or mutation. So we've only got one service, the one we just created. We'll select it. Name for the query. What should we call the query? Why not promotion usage? Seems fitting. New mutation. We're not going to have a mutation. I'm just going to click through that. We'll delete it after. It's easier to delete code than write code. Lacey, hey, nice to see you here. Copilot works very well with Vendure after you use the CLI. Yes, that's true. That's true. I'm sure there's like a lot we can do, like integrating better with LLMs. It's an area that we have in mind for research in the future. Alem, would a multi-select maybe work better in this setting instead of running the command 3 times? Don't be sorry for asking many questions. This is the lifeblood of a live stream. I need your questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to ramble to myself, unbounded. A multi-select, maybe. I mean, the state of the Vendure CLI is like, I did like one big project and like put it out there. Since then, we've just been using it, gathering feedback, but it is due for like the next upgrade. So yeah, ideas like that definitely will drive the future improvements to the CLI. So we're done with the scaffolding for the API stuff. So let's have a look what that gave us. Gave us some API extensions. I'm going to go ahead and delete this mutation already because we just don't need it right now. And delete that. So it's given us the actual GraphQL schema, the resolver, which is the function which will handle that. And look at that, it even created some stuff in our service. It's cool. It's cool. It creates the stuff on the service. Why is it all up? So we'll just leave it like that for now. And if we go over to the plugin, it's also added this part here. So it's all wired up. Yeah, I really, LM says I'm a CLI junkie. I really got, like, after doing the CLI stuff, I really got into it and appreciate how cool it is to work with the CLI. Number one, you don't have to deal with like a browser and the DOM and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like pure, like just text input, text output. It's a very nice, simple paradigm. I'm into it too. Let's try it. So let's just check. We don't want to return a Boolean. We want to return, let's define the schema a little bit better. So we want to make a new type promotion usage. I kind of want to say info, but then something inside is screaming like, no, don't use the word info. Promotion usage info. I'm going to just do it anyway. I can refactor this. I want to get on with the stream. I'm going to call it promotion usage info. If you've got a better suggestion, drop it in the chat. I could call it promotion usage data, isn't it? Info, data. These are things you never use. I'm going to do it. Let's give it a property total usages, and that'll be an integer. Is usages the right word? Total uses versus usages. Let's get a poll going. Usages. I don't know. Maybe one's British English. I don't know. I'm going to say usages sounds a bit too fancy. I'll say uses. Total uses. This is why they say that naming things is like one of the two hard things in computer sciences. And now uses just doesn't look right. I'm going to go with usages. I don't care. My project, I'm going to call it usages. So that's going to be the return type of this query. The input, we want to make it a little bit more sophisticated. Input. This is where Copilot's pretty cool. ID. Yeah, ID's good. ID's. What else have you got for me, Copilot? Any other suggestions? Start date. Maybe. It's not a string, is it? It's a date time. Date time. No, we don't want it to be required. End date. Reasonable. Very sensible. Let's use those. So Lacey, you vote uses. Yeah, it might be a, Lacey's in the US. I'm British. Maybe it's like, a transatlantic mismatch here that you like uses and I like usages. I'm gonna leave it. Right. Input. Let's give it that type. Promotion usage input. We want to have a exclamation mark because we definitely need the input. If you have a project with other plugins, Copilot seems to work better. Yeah, I believe so. It's like looking through your code and kind of looking at the patterns. And I mean, with Vendure, because we have by this time, we've got quite established idioms and patterns. So it seems to kind of pick up on these pretty well. Not quite 200 plugins. We're getting there, though. I've got a big backlog, so there will be 200 at some point. Anyway, let's add one more to it today. So we have the return type, the input. That looks good. We've got the query. Okay. I say let's just do a dummy thing and let's return. See if it's clever enough. Look at that. It's clever. And it's why it's saying async. Okay. Oh, yeah. Let's fix this. Come on. There we go. Just love not having to type things sometimes. Okay. Now we're going to go over to Vendure config. and add it to our array of 200 plugins. And we'll put it down at the bottom. Oh my God, it's already there. That was the Vendure CLI. It already put it there for us, so we don't actually have to do anything. Very nice. Sometimes, some of these things I wrote a while ago and I just forget how things work, and then I get pleasantly surprised. So let's run it. So we've got npm run dev server. That's just an npm script that I've set up. So that should get things going. One thing that we didn't do was we've got to have super admin. It's not going to compile, is it? Because we didn't change this type here. Let's do that. There we go. Permission super admin, that's okay for now. We might, if we've got time, we'll get into adding a custom permission. Okay, I'm going to stop that. I'm just going to change. I want to change an environment variable without like doxing my whole project. So let me try and. Oh, I can't do it. Forget it. I'll just run it. I wanted to turn off the compilation of the admin UI just so it's not running that extra work, but it doesn't matter. We can still start making API calls before the admin UI finishes compiling. All right, so while that's going on, let's open up my favorite API client, Yak. I got to promote this every single time. It's what I use for testing the GraphQL APIs. It's kind of like Postman. It's kind of like Insomnia, but it's not shit. So this is what we're going to use. And I've got all these pre-made queries and mutations all set up, so it just makes testing really fast. And people, next thing you're going to ask is, hey, where can I download all these? You can't download them anywhere at the moment, I'm afraid. It was asked last time, and yeah, we've got to make a collection and put them somewhere you can copy and paste and set that out. What's going on here? What's going on? Can't find module, promotion use plugin. Okay, I think as smart as the CLI is, it had problem with the import path because it didn't know about the path mapping, because that path mapping didn't exist at the time that I actually created the plugin. So let's go here. Yeah, it's right here, isn't it? So we should say that. Plugin promotion usage. So, okay, that should fix it. Let's just check what's happening now. Lots of red, but I think it's just being slow. That's just debugger listening. Okay, why is that red? For help. Okay, why is that red? It's like so alarming when you see so much red stuff in your terminal output, right? Ah, now we're going. Now we're going. Yep. All good, all good. Look at all that stuff. Okay. Right. Let's log in as a super admin first. Oh, are we not ready yet? Come on, now we're ready. Come on, let's try it again. Yeah, and you know what I'll do? Let me make this bigger again. I can make the text size a bit bigger. Appearance, edit the font size. Let's crank it up. Yeah, and maybe this one as well. Ooh, there we go. Okay. So invalid credentials. Okay. All right, let me just, I don't know why I'm hiding my development credentials because it doesn't matter, but I'm just so paranoid. I'm going to do that anyway. All right, I'm logged in as the super admin. Now let's get a little scratch file here. Get rid of all that stuff. And our query should be query, what was it? Promotion usage. Look at it right there. Okay, and we want to give it an input object. Just love GraphQL. Look at this. ID. That's just doesn't matter at the moment because it's just dummy data. What's going on here? Have I got one too many? I've got one too many of those, haven't I? Okay, total usages. We should get 0. Good. So that's all wired up. So we know that the plugin's working. So that's the kind of approach I tend to take is like I do one little step and I check that it works. I like that little feedback loop that you get when you do a little thing and then something changes and then you do another thing and something changes. This is like that's the magic that kind of got me in programming in the first place. Like you write some code and then something's different. It's magical and it's also very practical when it comes to developing a brand new feature from scratch because you don't want to like spend 3 hours like putting your masterpiece together and then just you've got like 5,000 errors to deal with. Um, this is my approach anyway. A little bit at a time. Just make sure it works and then we move on. So we know that this is all wired up. Um, and now, you know what we could do? Why don't we do a little bit of code gen? Because, I had to do this manual typing here as we evolve the API and add like fields and stuff. We don't want to have to change that in several places. So it would be good to do code gen. So I've got GraphQL code generator set up somewhere here. It's a little bit more complex than your typical code gen setup. And I think I need to like modify something. Generators, exit generator, where are we? Code gen. I need to just look. You know what I've set up a special NX thing for this. So in the project JSON, which is the kind of the file that controls how NX works, we have this executor that I've created, which is a code gen. And we need to change, we've changed the path there, include UI false. Okay, so that should actually work. So if I go to, let's open up a new window here. And if I go npx nx run plugin promotion usage code gen, this should hopefully work. Generate us some types that then we can use in our resolver and in our service. While that's going on, I'll just check to see if we've got any missed chats. Okay, we're good. Right, so we didn't get any errors. Like to see that. And let's see, do we get something new here? I don't see anything. Let's reload. Oh, no, we do. Of course, we got generated types here. Good. So let's put those in there. In our resolver, instead of manually typing this ID, we can say query promotion usage args. And I'll let IntelliJ import that. And then the return type will be, what was it called again? Oh yeah, promotion usage info. There we go. All right. And then we say args.input.id. Actually, no, we're going to actually pass just the full input object through to our service. Let's go and put the typings into there as well. So input, and we'll say promotion usage. What was it called again? Got to check. Promotion usage input. Makes sense. There we go. Okay, so then, and oh yeah, and then we can change the type of this and say promotion usage info. There we go. Right, typing's all sorted out. One less thing to worry about messing up now. I like to automate away all the possible things that I can do to mess up my own code, and CodeGen is a huge part of that. One of the things I love about working with GraphQL. Okay, let's do the business logic. Where are we at? 1638. Okay, I think we're kind of reasonably on track. So we need to put together this SQL query now. Now, this is like the heart of the whole plugin, which is like this. So select count from order. We're joining the promotions where the order active equals false and the order payment state is payment settled. Hey, oh, we've got some newcomers. Let me just greet everyone. Samuel, hi there. You didn't miss anything important. Of course, you missed something important. Like everything is important, but don't worry, you can go back and watch the bit you missed afterwards. But the best bit is about yet to come. Daniel's here. How long will I be streaming for? Um, well, probably I was thinking till like 5:30. We'll see. I think I've got to like cook dinner for my kids at some point, but they can go hungry a little bit, can't they? Okay. I didn't just say that live, did I? Um, it's a joke. Let's put in this logic here. So we already got an async function. So let's say this dot connection dot get repository. We'll pass it the request context as we always do, and we want to get. How do I look at that again? So we want to. All right. We want to get. We want to basically get orders, right? So we want to get the order repository. Yeah, we've got some fellow cruel parents here. Coaching's more important. Yeah. No, to be serious, don't be nasty to your kids or abuse them, of course. The kids are the most important thing. Anyone see that DHH interview that he did with Primogen recently? It was like absolutely amazing. He had a whole section about how great kids are. I subscribe to that. So if you want to know my real opinion, I'm in line with DHH and all that stuff. All right, enough of that. Let's get back to the programming stuff. So we want to get the orders. We want to. I think so. When you're dealing with the database in Vendure, you've got two options. You can do. You've got the Find API, and then you've got the Query Builder API. Query Builder tends to work really well when you've got like slightly more complex queries. I think we're going to go with Query Builder. Yeah, Daniel agrees that interview was really good. It was amazing. It's amazing. Watched the whole thing like 2 hours. It was really cool. So create query builder. Create query builder. We'll give it the alias order. We want to say where. So let's add these where conditions. Let's just see what does Copilot think. Yeah, I'm not going to add that bit yet. It wants to add the date stuff, but I want to like, yeah. So we want to say, yeah, where active equals false, where order.active equals false. We don't want it to be active because it means like with diff checked out. And where Daniel says he basically interviewed himself. He just like does a total. He goes off as you would say where I come from in England. He goes off on one. He's just like, but it's cool. I like to see it. He's got his opinions and he's not afraid to share them. Okay, where order active is false, and where order dot state equals and we're going to say here payment settled. Now, this is in particularly correct for our workflow because the order process is configurable. If you do a plugin like this, maybe the state is going to be something else, but in the majority of cases, payment settled should be totally fine. Will you be doing a UI extension too? I'm planning to do that. Let's see how fast I can get there. I know you want to see. For context, Daniel's been giving us a lot of trouble this week about our UI extension mechanisms and the fact that he's got to sometimes program Angular. So let's see what we can do on that. Actually, to do the thing that I want to do, you don't even need to write any components. It's just like adding something to the context menu, or maybe a little component. Let's see. All right. So where the order is not active and where the state is payment settled. Okay. And when we need to then like join order.promotions. Clever Copilot. Well done. Oh, clever. Very clever. And we can conditionally add that the date thing later. Let's say let's just say count. We don't need to, let's just get count for now. Let's keep it simple. We're going to say const. What do we call it? Oops, what do we call it here? Total usage. Oh yeah, how could I forget? Total usages. That should be an integer, a number. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's just do that. Okay. Does that look right, everyone? Come on, review me. Review me. Anyone see something wrong with that? All right. If this doesn't work, it's all of our faults. We're all in this together. So let's test it out. We'll go and oh yeah. So this is because this is an NX repo. It does like auto reload whenever you change something, which I have mixed feelings about. Some people are like, oh, we really like that workflow. Personally, I don't like it that much because a lot of times I change something and I don't want it to reload the whole server like every single time, but it's doing it. So there we go. Okay. Let's try a real promotion. Let me just see if I have one here. We've got to wait for the admin UI extensions to compile. Oh well, let's just run this. Ha! Okay, we're getting a number. Let's try another ID. Yeah, we're getting a number, 21 usages. Okay. Well, I guess that's working. Like, I would do some end-to-end tests on this um, if I had a bit more time, and I probably will do those later. Or maybe I make that another stream. Let me know if you want to see me write end-to-end tests. It would mostly Copilot writing them, to be honest. But yeah, we would want to test this. We would want to test this just to make sure it's giving us accurate results. Because otherwise, you've got to just trust that I wrote that SQL query correctly. And do you really want to trust me on that? I don't know. Anyway, this is giving like results, so something seems to be working okay. Let's do the date thing now. If you got any questions at this point, drop them in there. But so far, it looks like we're doing pretty good. Where are we? We're at 45-minute mark. So hey, not bad for 45 minutes. Show me another commerce framework where you can do all that in 45 minutes. All right, let's do the date thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to refactor this a little bit. We're going to say const QB. We're going to store reference to this query builder. And then we're going to add a conditional here. If input start date, we're going to look at this. And why is it red? Why? Why is that any? Oh, because I don't want to call the get count thing there. That's why. Okay, now that works. Let's Copilot figure out the next bit. And let's just check this manually because, we don't want to surrender all of our thinking faculties to the machines just yet. They've not proved themselves worthy of that trust. So order.created@at is greater or equal to the start date. That seems okay. Got some feedback here. It would be good to know how Vendure's E2E is beginning written, even though it's written by code. Yeah, okay, E2E tests. Let's see how much time we've got today. I don't know if I can do that, but maybe we can split that into another one. Okay, everyone likes to see E2E tests. All right. Would you rather see E2E tests or would you rather see admin UI extensions? Let me know. Okay, so then we add those conditionally, and then we just at the end now we call querybuilder.getCount, assign it to total usages, and return that. So let's try that out. We should be able to kind of do some kind of rudimentary testing to this. Admin UI, okay. Admin UI, admin UI, admin UI. Okay, so you want to see admin UI more. Oh, Lacey saying E2E. Fight, 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 fight. Who's going to win? I think I'm going to do admin UI. That's what I was planning. And to be honest, that's what I need to implement so that the marketing department can actually start using this plugin. So I'm going to do admin UI. End-to-end testing, yeah. Maybe I'll do another stream later in the week if I've got time, or next week. Let's see. Right. Let's jump over to Yak. And let's just check if the server's running. Yes, it is. What? Do we really have E4? No. I don't know if that's true, Lacey. From the art supplies here too? Oh my god, that is pressure. That's pressure. I'm gonna stop messing about now. Gonna get down to work. Oh no. Um, right, we've got a server running. Let's add some. So we've got this example ID number 8. It's got 41 usages. Let's put a start date in there. Now I'm gonna have to manually type an ISO compliant date string. So, 2024-01-01 T dot Z, I think. Okay, it didn't break. Okay, so this, because it's only ID number 8, it's probably a really old one. So that means it's, if I change this to like 2023, maybe we'll get some usages. Yeah, exactly. So it looks like we've got indication that this is working as I change the month upwards. Okay, that stays 40. Yeah, exactly. So that's looking pretty good. Let's put an end date on this as well. I'll just copy, paste, end date, and let's put this as like 2000. Yeah, let's keep it to 2023 and let's say it like August 26. Sorry, yeah, 26. Let's change it to the same date. That should be 0, surely. Yes. And let's change the day to like 11th. We've got good. So based on those numbers, it kind of feels like it's working. It feels like this date thing's working. So that's actually all I wanted to do on this API extension. The actual functionality is done. That's it. Um, so the person who's watching this from the company is thinking, why did it take you 3 years to implement this? But anyway, now it's gonna it's gonna be deployed soon. I'm not gonna deploy it live, but it will be ready soon. Let's do the admin UI part next. So wait, we're still fighting over what we're gonna do next, right? Yeah, see, I thought so with the E2E versus admin UI, I thought it was like people said they do want to see E2E stuff, but they would prefer admin UI. But then again, I'm concentrating on the code here. Oh, by the way, Bromley, that slide's waving. Hello. I'm going to do admin UI. Lacey, we will do E2E. I promise. I will do a stream on that. I'll do a stream because the people do want to see it. We've got a fight going on here. I don't know if this is good for the community. All right. It's all good. We're all friends here. We're all learning. So let's do some admin UI stuff. Now, Alam's just like a chaos merchant. Look at this. He's just in here to stir things up. Once we got everything settled, he's like, no, guys. Okay. No, no one needs to get serious about this. We're going to cover everything in good time. Let's see. Let's go over to our good friend, the CLI. And let's see if we can add some UI extensions to this plugin. What time are we on? 16:52. Okay. I think we might just do this. So we have you set up admin UI extensions. To be honest, this part of the Vendure CLI is not going to do much for me. It makes a couple of files and does a little bit of config, but it's not going to like generate the actual admin UI stuff. This is something that we want to improve in a future release because it takes a while to do some of these things. But you will see me next mostly copy and pasting from the docs, which is like my go-to for when I've got to implement something and it's not immediately covered by the Vendure CLI. I'm just like, go to the docs. There's usually something I can copy, paste, and then tweak a little bit. That's the way I like to develop. And I'm sure many of you do too. Let's go and find, click, 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 click. Where is it? Promotion usage plugin. Select that. So it's doing some clever stuff. Installing dependencies. That seems a bit weird because we should already have the dependencies installed. So I'm kind of questioning what it's doing right now. But let's go and have a look what it's done, if anything. Maybe it's going to install what dependencies are going to install? We've definitely got the right dependency. I've got so many admin UI extensions in this project. Definitely got the dependencies that it needs. So probably a little bug there that needs to be tweaked, like how it's detecting whether or not it needs to install those dependencies. Anyway, it's installed something. It's installed something. Why don't we look at package lock? Oh, package JSON. Anything changed here? Types React. It's not a React project. Okay. Okay. I think it's done that because if you want to develop your admin UI plugins with React, you will need those React typings so that everything compiles. Trying to be helpful. I don't really need it. You know what? Let's delete that. No React in this repo. Okay. Yeah. That's all okay. That's all okay. Organizing imports. All right. Let's go and look what it's given us. It's given us this UI folder and providers and routes. But actually, to be honest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find another plugin that already has some UI stuff, which is like this, for example. And because the setup is not typical in this project, it's a little bit like there's a little bit of manual stuff that is needed. So I'm going to just like copy some stuff over from here and drop it into here. Or am I? I thought I was going to do that. Let's copy those again and drop it there. Yes, that's okay. Actually, I don't need the generated types for now. Index. So what's index got? Oh, this is old school. This is like, yeah. So this project's been around for a long time, since before we like modernized the way that you add UI extensions. So instead of this ng module thing, so it's deprecated, so it's got a strike through. Don't use it. We're going to not do that. We're going to say, let's rename things. The trouble with copy and pasting sometimes is then you forget to like rename little things like that. So we'll call this promotion usage plugin. Libs promotion usage plugin. No, libs promotion plugin dash promotion usage source UI. That's this right here. Okay. And we want to say, are we going to have any routes? No, we're not going to have any routes anyway. We're going to just have providers, and that's going to be, I want to see like a modern one. You know, sometimes when you just don't trust that you can just write code properly the first time, and you just literally got to just find something to copy paste. Yeah. That's what I'm doing right now. Where's the more recent plugin I wrote? I think this abandoned cart one. It's got no UI. It's got no UI. It's got a UI. It's like old. It's old. All right. I think I'm just going to have to put in some actual manual thought and effort into this, unfortunately. Sometimes you just got to do that. All right. So UI. I can delete that routes. Don't need it. This is like so old school. Don't need it. Don't need it. Go away. We just want some providers. Yeah, and this is called, okay, so this extension path thing, yeah, that's pointing here, dash UI, and then we're just going to be called providers.ts, right? Surely, is that right? We will find out. UI extensions, then this, I think I want to follow the convention that I've used on other plugins. And I think we're just attaching that onto the plugin as a static, not that one, as a static property. Let's check what I do here. Redirects plugins. Yeah, so I just do that. Okay, I'll do the same following the convention. Oh, yeah. Is there anything useful there? No, that's all okay. So I'll just delete that, and this should point to the file that we just made. Okay. So the next thing I do following my kind of general approach of doing little bit by bit is I'll just try and make something show up in the UI. Let's go over to the docs now. And what I want to add is I want to add a little menu item in the promotion detail page. I want to make it like a drop-down menu item. So I'll make this a bit bigger, and I will go to extending the admin UI and page action bar buttons. And we've got drop-down menu example. So let's just copy that and go over to our providers file and replace it like that. We'll give it an ID. Wait a minute, add action. Okay, it just needs some ID, so we'll just call it promotion usage. Location ID will be promotion detail. No, not product detail, promotion detail. Label, show promotion usage. The icon, what kind of icon should we use for this? Let's go to clarity icons. This is the icon set that we can use. Promotion usage, stat chart, maybe a chart, something like that. I mean, we're not going to actually return a chart. That's a bit of like false advertising, but it kind of gives you the idea. Line chart, I like that one. Line chart, let's use that as the icon. Router link, we're not going to have a router link. I literally just want to, let's do on click, and let's do a console log. Okay. Now I think I need to go over to, there's like a main file where we've configured the admin UI. UI extensions config. Here we go. So we're going to then import the promotion usage plugin .ui extensions. And why? Oh, okay. Let's follow the convention here. Extensions. There we go. All right. Let's get everything going again. Here. Run the server and let it compile the admin UI plugins, and let's see if it works. Question here while we're waiting. Perfect timing. For those of you who are like Jon Snow, know nothing, this adds a plugin to the admin UI of Vendure. That's correct, Alan. So, Vendure's a headless system. So all the work we've done so far is just extending a GraphQL API. But we have this admin UI where you also have these like different slots where you can extend it. You can add components in certain parts of different pages. And that's what we're doing here. We're adding, so we've got this, let's go back to, providers. We've got this function, add action bar, drop down menu item. And we're literally telling it to add something into this little, what do you call it? Kebab menu. You got a burger and then you got a kebab. So this is a kebab kind of context menu on the promotion detail page. So we're going to add a menu item there. It's going slow. Someone else asked me a question. Come on. You literally never heard you never heard of a kebab menu? What do you call that menu then? It's obviously not a burger, because it's like, what burger is made of like 3 little balls? What is it? 3 dots menu? Very sensible. A vertical ellipse. It's yeah. Yeah, makes sense. I'm not making up the menu name. It's literally right. I've got an error here. I've got to fix this, but then we're going to come back to the kebab menu thing, right? What's wrong? No such file or directory. It's looking for /source/UI. What have we done wrong? /source. We got it in /lib.ui. So this actually should. This should be out here. Okay. We'll move it out there. hopefully it updated any paths. Let's see. Plugin source UI. Clever WebStorm. Clever. It updated it. Okay. Let's see if that works. WebStorm is so clever. This is even before AI. It's just good. Don't want to get into any flame wars about IDEs, but WebStorm is the best. Right. Drop down menu. It is a drop down menu, but we're talking about the icon. So kebab menu. obviously, you want to see a kebab menu? There you go. That's a kebab menu. The kebab menu icon. Aha. What do we have here, Daniel? What do we have here? That's a kebab menu icon right there. So now you know. Update your vocab, guys. In fact, let's know your menu. Hamburger. Dinner menu. Bento. Kebab. Meatballs. I mean, why do you have to differentiate between a kebab and meatballs? Suddenly, when the kebab stick falls over, it turns into meatballs. Webstone brings me right back to the early 2000s. Well, Lacey, the early 2000s are like the golden age of all of our lives. So yeah, I agree. Meatballs. Kebab menu. Kebab menu it is. I gotta get this into the docs. It's official. That is the kebab menu. All right. Are we compiling? Oh, okay. It's looking not bad so far. But yeah, the dinner menu, that is a good one. But that's usually used for filtering things, right? Bento menu. Yeah, that's like what? Oh, we've got a bento menu right up here. But it's made of balls. So is it bento? It's made of circles. Is it actually 3 kebabs in a row? Or is it 3 rows of meatballs? These kind of important questions need to be answered. We got to speak to someone in Google. Alam, you got to go. Yep. Thanks for joining us, Alam. Hope you can make it next time. See ya. Alan, by the way, everyone, Alan is the maintainer of the Remix Dev tool. So if you're building something with Remix, you're probably using his stuff. Thank you, Alan, for contributing to the open source community. All right, where are we at? We compiled successfully. All right. Let's have a look. Let's go over to the promotion detail page. Oh, we've got our kebab menu right there. Okay. And we've got show promotion usage. So, and then let's just open up the open up the console. And let's see if the click is working. Boom, promotion usage clicked. Awesome. Okay. We're getting close, everyone. What time we're on? 17:07. Okay. Whew, it's a bit stressful now. It's a bit stressful. So we need to now we're gonna write some UI stuff. This is what we need to do. We need to let's do it really simple. When we click it, we're gonna make all right, I'm gonna do it this simple, just so I can finish the stream. When you click the button, it's gonna make an API call, and we're gonna do a window.alert and show it. We're gonna start like that. I'm gonna upgrade it either on stream or afterwards, seeing how much, depending on how much time we've got. So let's just start it like, real ghetto style and just do it like that. In this on-click handler, I have an event. That's the click event, and then we have this context thing. So we can say context dot data service dot query, and then we're going to give it a GraphQL document. So I use this GQL tag like that, and then we're going to say, oh, why don't I go over to Yak and just copy paste? I just never want to type something that I don't have to type. So I'll just copy paste it. If I've typed it once in my life, ideally, that's the maximum number of times I want to type it. We're going to remove this. We're going to comment those out for now. The ID. Ah, we need the ID. Yes. How do we get the ID? Um, so context dot entity. Yes, we want the entity. Okay. This entity is going to be this is an observable stream. So we want to subscribe to it and we can call it promotion. And we say promotion. So the ID will be there. Um, let's move that inside there. We're going to pass it some variables. So we can say input and then oops, ID is going to be promotion.id. TS. That was just muscle memory. Okay. So we query that. Query. Yeah. Because this is, so I'm going to change this. I'm going to say, instead of subscribe, I'm going to say pipe and I'm going to say switch map. I know this is getting a bit like crazy RxJS stuff. And I don't really want to explain. For those who don't understand, I'm sorry. I'm not ready to explain RxJS operators right now. Just trust me. Because I'm basically got an observable here and I've got another one here. I don't want to like have nested subscribe. So I use switch map to transform the second observable. I'd like to unwrap it so I can just carry on in like this pipeline of observables. That was a bad explanation, but hopefully better than nothing. So result, let's just log the result. That. Right. What does it look like here? Oh yeah. So I'm saying dot query, but then I've got to say like dot. No, where am I? I'm like losing track. Switch map. Oh yeah, here. Dot single. Let's get a single one of those. Then it kind of works. Lacey says, never learned RxJS until I started working with Vendure, and I've come to love it. It is a fantastic tool. It's got a bit of a learning curve, and I think that's the problem. And it has like 10,000 different operators that you can know. They're trying to reduce that number, but there's actually only about 5 that you really need to use day to day, like map, filter, switch map, stuff like that. But yeah, it's an incredibly powerful tool. Some things it can take certain really complex problems and just like condense them down into a very elegant kind of simple. Less code. There's less code involved, and there's fewer chances to make mistakes, especially when managing kind of complex state inside a component. This looks horrible, but we're going to try it out and see what happens. Okay. Some more RxJS chat here. One of those libraries that feels makes you feel like a caveman learning about tools. It feels very nice once you're able to. Yeah. It's like it totally. Good way of describing it. Let's go over here and let's open up the dev tools. I'm just going to refresh. Okay. Okay, we got an error. Oh, we got a syntax error. That's not one of the worst errors we could have. What's up? Unexpected end of file. All right, let's see. So we've got this GraphQL document. I feel like it's like something here. We've got the syntax on query. Let's give it a name first of all. Get promotion usage. You know what? We're not even properly handling the variables. So we want to say input, promotion usage input. The reason I'm not getting IntelliSense here is because I've not kind of updated the schema in my ID's GraphQL integration. So let's see if I can do that. GraphQL, and then it will stop me making such mistakes. Let's get that schema again. Okay, let's go back. Oh, okay. I did the wrong one. I did the shop API. I should do the admin API. Okay. Good. And that should be exclamation mark. Still not happy. Unused variable input, of course. We need to do that. And is that right now? Is that right? Let's see. We've got failed to compile, promotion possibly undefined. It is possibly undefined. Okay. So the problem is that this promotion is possibly undefined. Uh-huh. Okay. Um, should I be naughty? Or should I be good? I'll be good. I'll be good. So if where are we? If let's say const ID equals promotion ID, if it's not defined, then we're gonna return, let's just like return an empty array, which is like kind of like an observable with no value. Okay, are we happy now? No. Oh, it's the promotion is yeah, of course, right. Silly. What did we do before TypeScript? We just wrote lots of bugs. That's what we did. Okay. Let's refresh. By the way, due to you, I tried out GQL Tadar for my front end, and it's wonderful. It is wonderful. I made a video a while back on the Vendure channel about this library GQL Tadar, and it is amazing. I got to do another one. I got to dive deeper on that. It's so cool. So show promotion usage. Let's jump over. By the way, if you're not using this Chrome extension, GraphQL network, you got to use it, because when you're normally like looking at your network tab in GraphQL and you kind of like look what's happening, you get no information. It's all just the same endpoint, of course. But in this GraphQL network extension, you see the actual name of the operation, and it's just way better, way better. Here we go. Boom, get promotion usage. It worked. Okay, promotion usage, 0. Okay, fine. And we got the result. Yeah, not bad. Okay, let's find one that has some usage. I don't know. I've got to pick a random one. I don't know how much these have been used. This has been used 55 times. So, what is 1716? Okay. Let's. I said I was going to window dot alert it, didn't I? So I've got to do that. Hey, this promotion was used. Result dot. Have we got? Oh, we've not got. We've not got CodeGen for this. Let's do CodeGen for this, because why not? I've made it so easy to set up. I should just be able to say include UI true, and then run CodeGen again. It should be literally that simple. And then we should get auto completion right here. But we're going to say this promotion would use result dot. I'll wait for the CodeGen. I don't want to think about it. I want CodeGen to do all the thinking for me. They say this is the sign of a good developer is a lazy developer. And it's true to some degree. Window like classic production level code. Yeah. I mean, you open up big websites that you use and look in the console, and it's a horror show. It's like they don't have that linting rule turned on anyway that tells you to remove console logs. We should have types now. Let's see. Oops. Let's just refresh, reload from disk. Oh, GQL right here. So we should be able to say, get promotion usage query. I'll just wait for WebStorm to come up with a suggestion. Yeah. Yeah. Promotion usage query variables. Okay. And now, I mean, this should be correctly typed. So I should get the end date and start date. Very nice. And we should be able to see result dot. Come on. Hey, don't let me down. Okay, something is not quite right here. Yeah, maybe because I'm doing this. Maybe I'm doing I wonder if it's because I'm doing this. I wonder. I'm just going to be naughty for a second, and I'm just going to say promotion. I'm going to make it not nullable. And let's see. See, then we get so it's something I've got to look at there. But now we actually have the correct typing. Okay. Let's test this out. We will refresh. We're still refreshing. Actually, have we actually compiled? That should be not something to worry about. What's going on? Someone else ask a question now. Fill the dead air. Come on, help me out. Not sure what's going on here. Oh, it's just not, okay. It's just not compiled yet. Now it's done. We're all good. So let's see if we get our window.alert. What's your IDE? We're back to we're back to IDEs. My IDE is WebStorm. I like WebStorm very much. So I started off my development career with PHP Storm back in the day, and I just got really into JetBrains stuff, and then I moved over to WebStorm when I was stopped doing PHP, and here we are. Okay, let's try this out now. Hey, this promotion was used 55. Almost, we almost got it right, didn't we? 55 times. Add a few ones in there for good measure. So let's recap. It's okay. It's 20 past 5. I think I'm going to kind of end off at this point. But I will tell you what will be the next steps. At this point, what I'd actually do is when you click on show promotion usage, I would have a modal, as I was searching for the word, a modal dialogue where you could like fill in the start date and end date. And, probably the requirements for this might evolve over time. And maybe there'll be more different input parameters to that query. And they could go in that modal dialogue. So I'd probably do a modal for the inputs. And then I would have, how would we display the results? Probably in a modal pop-up with the results rather than the window.alert, which is kind of nice and it's kind of old school. And it would, you could deploy this. It gives you the information. It's totally fine. It's just not so polished, but it's cool. Bit of window alert. Question here: why this as a drop-down action instead of inside the detail page? Oh yeah, I mean we could do it. We could like add what you call a detail, a custom detail component. So if I do Control U, you can see all the different extension points in the UI. Hey, maybe you all didn't know about that. Control or Command plus U, and you'll toggle that on and off. So you can see right here, there's a space where you can add a custom component. So we could put it there. I guess the downside I could see for that is that then you're going to make the query every time, which you might not. You probably don't usually want to make that query. You only want to know sometimes. So, but if you want, if you think the kind of admins want to see that every time, then you could add it right there. Or just put like a thing where you can like then click it. But I just thought, well, it's probably something that's not going to be used that much. So we'll put it up there in the drop down. But yeah, there are options. And then, okay, so that's the UI stuff. But the actual functionality is done. So that's good. I actually got a backlog thing mostly finished in this streaming session. So that's good all around. And then, of course, there's the end-to-end test. And I think, yeah, I will do the end-to-end tests in the next stream, because as well as admin UI, there was a good split of people wanting to see that. And I think it's an important topic. From what I've seen from Vendure projects that I've seen in the wild, it's something that we can have more education around the topic, more examples, because it's very important. Okay, we're about to kind of sign off here. If anyone's got any more questions or comments, then drop them in. Other than that, I will say thank you, everyone. Thanks, Samuel. Again, you were really helpful in the last stream, and really nice to see you in this stream. Yeah, Ahmet, that's totally true. We kind of touched on this earlier. The LLMs are really good for writing tests, and I'll hopefully be able to demonstrate that in the stream when we cover the end-to-end tests. Lacey, thanks for joining us. Yeah, thanks everyone. What else do I want to say? Yeah, that's how you build a plugin. That's how I build a plugin. I think we did a pretty decent job of doing some non-trivial stuff in an hour and 15 minutes. So I hope you learned something, and see you next time. Have a nice day, everyone, or evening, or wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye.